What's up, insiders? Deuces Jack at vapinginsider.com. Today we're going to do something a little different because I've been getting a ton, and I mean a ton of questions from a lot of vapers that want me to talk about the coronavirus and how it affects vaping. And to be honest with you, when I first started getting the questions, I was like, really, is this serious? But I understand why people are feeling the way they feel about this coronavirus and about whether, what effect it has on vaping, because let's face it, unless you're buying stuff that's American made, 95% of our stuff that we use, the mainstream stuff, comes from China. Now, the good news is most of our stuff comes from a city called Shenzhen. It doesn't come from Wuhan, which is where the epicenter of the coronavirus is, but it's still in China. And before they got a hold of this coronavirus, it was the Chinese New Year, and they locked down all the cities, but 5 million people from Wuhan have been traveling all over the country. So it's a legitimate concern. So I just wanted to address it and how it affects our lives as vapors and what you could do maybe in order to lower the minimal risk that there already is. Now, I'm no medical doctor. Never claimed to be, never will be. However, I can read, and I did do my own research on the subject. In order to understand exactly what type of virus we're dealing with here, I think we have to talk about the coronavirus a little bit. And from most of the research that I've done, it seems like it's very, very similar to the common cold. It just seems to be a lot more contagious. Because of its similarities to the common cold, it's also spread the same way, right? It's spread by coughing, by sneezing, right? You cough on your hand, you touch a doorknob, somebody else comes after you, they touch that doorknob, they touch their face, boom, you can get the virus, okay? So it's spread the same way as the common cold or flu is spread. Because it's very similar to the common cold and just a little bit more contagious, most scientists are saying that, even if you sneeze directly on something, within 24 hours, that virus should be dead on the area that you actually sneezed or coughed on. Now, what most experts are saying is when the symptoms of the coronavirus reveal themselves, it's very similar to an upper respiratory infection. Symptoms would be a stuffy nose, a cough, and a sore throat. So in order to talk about the coronavirus in this video, we should know a little bit about it. Now, experts are saying that the common flu has a death rate of anywhere from 0.9% to 2.5%. Conversely, experts are also saying that the coronavirus has a death rate of around 2.5%. So it's on the high end of the spectrum of where the flu virus's death rate is, but it's within that spectrum. Now, the other thing with the death rate of the coronavirus is it seems to be the most susceptible people in our society are the very old and the very young. And isn't that the way it is with most diseases, right? But it seems to me that from what I've read, that the very old and the very young are more susceptible to it, especially if they have a pre-existing condition that weakens their existing immune system. So just keep that in mind. Let's try to put things in perspective. I don't want to cause a panic. It's hard to know if the media is hyping this on purpose because it's not like us as vapors. It's not like we haven't seen that done before by the media. And if they are, they need to be held responsible. And it's shameful. It's actually criminal what they're doing if they're creating a false hysteria over that. Now, there's no way of knowing that because we really can't trust the numbers that we're getting. It's a funny thing. We probably live in a day and age right now where more information is available to us than ever before. I mean, all we got to do is whip out our smartphone and we can Google anything. We can check anything. The problem is we don't know, because of all of the mass information, we don't know what's real and what's fake. And it really has become that bad out there. I mean, you guys remember, what did the CDC do to us as an industry? They knew full well what was going on with EVALI, and they didn't care. They pushed out a false narrative. The same thing with the World Health Organization, WHO, right? Have you seen some of their stuff against vaping? I mean, it's absolutely criminal. So I don't believe a word they say about the coronavirus. And as far as putting my trust in a communist government, I honestly believe that the coronavirus is a lot worse over in China than they're leading us to believe. I really do believe that. We basically have to become our own filter. We got to use some common sense, and we have to filter out the noise in order to get to the real facts. Another great way to do that, especially in the vaping community, is to go over and check out our Facebook group, because I can tell you right now, just by the questions that I've gotten on the coronavirus, most of them were in PM or an email. It seemed like people felt weird asking that question out in public. And you want to know something? When it comes to vaping, the worst question that's ever asked is the one that's never asked. Okay? Guys, I'm always there. You see me in my comments in my videos. I'm happy to answer any questions. Okay, I'm pretty patient with everybody. I think I'm more active in my YouTube comments than most reviewers. Hit me up if you have a question. You know, the only time it actually gets annoying for me if it's something I actually covered in the video. You know, because it makes me feel like you didn't watch the video. But I still answer those questions too. So the big thing is, if you're new to vaping and this worries you, ask questions. Join a group. It doesn't have to be our group. Join any well-established group and ask questions of other knowledgeable vapors. So just to get everybody feeling better about the mods that they're using or the stuff that they're ordering, I'm going to cut down low. I'm going to show you the way I traditionally clean my atomizers, every one of them, before I vape on them. The process that I'm showing you is what I do to every atomizer. And since the coronavirus hit with all my mods, this is what I've been doing with my mods. Okay, so here's what I do when I get any new device. I get some Lysol disinfecting wipes, right? I take the box, I unbox it. This is brand new. All I did was take the plastic off. You can see the plastic is still actually on the mod. Okay, I take all that crap off, okay, expose everything. Then what I do is I get my disinfecting wipes. I take one, and I just give it a quick wipe down, man. Just give it a nice wipe down. Get whatever germs may be all over it, okay? These things aren't that wet, so it's mostly alcohol in there, so it's going to dry pretty quickly too. But get in there and just clean it up real nice. And honestly, if you want to do the same thing to the mouthpiece, just don't go inside, you know what I mean? But if you want to do the same thing to the tank part, by all means, go ahead and do it. Just give it a disinfecting wipe and let it dry out. It'll dry out real quick. Now, when it comes to something like an atomizer, right? Here's another one I haven't touched yet. All I did was take the plastic wrapper off, okay? What I'll do is I'll take it out of the box. I will put it on an Addy stand in order to disassemble it, all right? Pop that off, okay? Make sure you take it apart. Take the drip tip out. Take the top cap out, all right? Take it fully apart. Then what I do is I take my ultrasonic cleaner. I open it up, and I take some hot water. You can take, you know, hot water from the sink if your sink water's pretty hot, or you can put it in the microwave for a couple of seconds. Pour it right in there, okay, right in the ultrasonic cleaner. Then I take the cheapest vodka I can find, and I'll tell you why I use vodka in a second, and I pour like a shot or so in there, all right, just like that, okay? And the reason I use vodka is because it's a disinfectant naturally because of the alcohol, and it's non-toxic, right? If you have a little bit of vodka left, like residue-wise, you don't got to worry about inhaling that. It's just vodka. But definitely use cheap vodka. Don't use the good stuff. Once everything's loaded in the ultrasonic cleaner, you shut it down and you hit the button. Now, I think my ultrasonic cleaner, I got the Coil Master one. See the window fogging up already because the water was hot? I think this one has a 2 or 3 minute cycle, right? So what I do is I normally run it through, run new atomizers through there, anywhere from 3 to 5 cycles, depending on how much time I have. And I let them sit in there and I let them disinfect. And then when they're done, I take them out, I dry them off, and I build them. That's the way I use all my atomizers. All my atomizers go in the ultrasonic cleaner first. I've been doing that even before the whole coronavirus thing. I never really wiped down my mods before, like I showed you. I'll admit that. But with the coronavirus thing, I don't think it's a bad idea to actually wipe everything down that's coming from China, especially since we're not sure we're not sure if we're being told the truth about this virus. So once you're done with the ultrasonic cleaner, you flip it open. You got this little basket. Most of them come with this little basket, right? And you run it under the cold water in order to rinse off any vodka residue there may be. And then you dry your atomizer off, and you're ready to build it. Now, everything I showed you down low with the wiping down the mod and using the ultrasonic cleaner, that's going to be a personal decision for most of you. Like I said, I know I'm getting a lot of questions on it. In reality, the chances of, somebody sneezing on your mod or atomizer right before they put it in the box and that virus actually surviving the trip from China to America are probably slim and none, and Slim just left the room. However, there are people out there that are kind of germaphobes, that have a fear of germs, and this really bothers them that their stuff is coming from China. And there are people out there with trust issues with both governments, the Chinese government and the U.S. government. There are a lot of vapors out there that have trust issues with the CDC. If you're one of those people and it makes you feel better to wipe down your mod with a Clorox wipe before you use it, by all means do that. Do what makes you feel comfortable, what makes you feel safe. Now, as far as the atomizers go, I already told you, what I showed you down low has kind of been my practice with every atomizer for the last 3 or 4 years. I always clean all my atomizers out of the box just the way I showed you. I clean my used atomizers that way. Once they get a little crusty, I take them apart, I throw them in the ultrasonic cleaner, and then I rinse them off just the way I showed you. That'll definitely kill anything that's in there. That's for sure. The vodka will definitely handle that. But like I said, whether your fears of this are rational or irrational, that's totally up to you. It's a personal decision. So if doing the things in this video makes you feel better, by all means do it. It's your body, your decision. You do what you feel is comfortable to keep yourself safe. Really, just a lot of common sense in this video. Nothing crazy. You know what? If you're feeling a little, worried about the stuff that you're getting from China, get yourself some wipes and wipe the mods down. That's what I would do, okay? And the same thing, what I showed you with the tanks, with the atomizer, the RDAs and everything, you should be doing that with every tank you get. I never vape on an atomizer until I run it through my ultrasonic cleaner. That's just been a habit of mine for the last 3 years. If you don't have an ultrasonic cleaner, you can do the same thing I did. Get a bowl with warm water, a toothbrush, and dump a little bit of vodka in there and scrub away. You'll have the same exact effect. I do recommend, though, if you are into vaping, if you're a hobbyist, maybe it's time to invest in an ultrasonic cleaner. There are some great ones out there. The one that you saw me use, I've had that one for 5 years. It's a Coil Master one. There are better ones out there, but it's not a bad idea to invest in an ultrasonic cleaner if you have more than a dozen or so tanks, because you should be cleaning those tanks every once in a while anyway, and the ultrasonic cleaner just makes it that much easier. In the top link down below, click on it and join our Facebook group for more exclusive behind-the-scenes content. Click the link right here and watch our Vaping Mitts video. And that's it, insiders. That's all I got for you guys today. You keep living that vape life. We're out of here. Deuces.